The ability to recognize people's strengths and abilities is the mission statement for Club Success with the Peace River Center. Joining us in the studio to talk about Club Success is Director Louis Rivas. Louis, welcome to Polk Place.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Please tell us about Club Success.
Well, Club Success is a psych rehab model. It's based off of the clubhouse model that came from New York. Now, I might say that a lot of good things come from New York, but that's probably because I'm from New York myself. But the model basically is like the model basically is like we say, it's recognizing people's strengths and abilities, being able to get a person to see that they are somebody once again. Unfortunately, when somebody gets a diagnosis, it seems like all of a sudden things tend to end. And it's not that way. We want to be able to restore people hope in their lives and be able to say, hey, that you can do something for yourself. So we do that with the clubhouse model. We have people come in and they help us run our clubhouse. We started off in 2005, but our model actually started off in 1948. It's evidence-based practice. It's things that we've tried and tested and recognized that this is the way to do things. What our goal is to try to do is be able to get people to once again see where they're at and be able to move forward. Unfortunately, like I said, when somebody gets a diagnosis, that's all they think about. So we shave off a lot of these false beliefs and be able to say, you know, let's get you recognizing what that strength is. And we do that by working side by side with them.
And you're helping people with mental illness.
Correct, yeah. Mental health is our what we look for because we found that this model works. It actually started with a psychologist that was kind of tired of traditional mental health where back in 1948 it was just locking people up and segregating individuals that had a mental health problem. But for us it's more so reintegrating them. So the psychologist said, you know what, let's try to build them up. Let's show them, that they can do things, and that's all we do. We don't want to spend so much time trying to teach somebody something new. We want to spend more time recognizing what you can do.
Can you outline some of the basic tenets of this program?
Certainly. We're broken up into 3 units. It's kind of like departments. And what we've done is we've taken a responsibility that your job or my job would be like, stuck a dynamite in it and blew it up to the point that anybody can do it. Like I said, people say they can't do this, they can't do that. Well, our goal is to be able to say, you know what, you can do this. So it could be something from washing dishes to filing paperwork, all the way up to actually medical billing. So the individuals are working side by side saying, okay, I've got some computer skills. I've got some interpersonal skills that I can use. So we put them as a receptionist. We work with them, teach them the scripts of it, and be able to say, okay, now you're gonna be able to do this on your own. So when you walk through our clubhouse, all these things are done by our members and staff. And actually, you can't really tell, which is a member, which is a staff, because that's our motto. That's what we want to make sure we do.
So there's a vocational aspect or component to your program?
Correct, yeah. Our guarantee says a place to come, meaningful work, meaningful relationships, and a place to return. With the vocational aspect of it, we feel that by teaching the individual to, once again, recognize those strengths by working, it's just like you and I. When you were a kid, people always ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up, right? Same thing is for us. We find that the person still hangs on to that contribution to society. Often we feel like we want to be able to give back to society. I went to Tallahassee a few years back, and one of our things we did was for lobbying. Our slogan was turning tax burdens into taxpayers. We feel like as individuals with mental health, we're seen as tax burdens. We're sitting at home eating bonbons, watching Jerry Springer. I don't even know if Jerry Springer's still on, sorry. But we're not that, we're still individuals that want to get back into employment to be able to be a taxpayer.
So generally, are you building on existing skills, or are you providing them new skill sets?
A little bit of both, but we like to start off with what they already have. Just to give you an example, some of the individuals, there's people that I have with an education level of literally 3rd grade, have a hard time reading, but there's other individuals that I have that have master's degrees. Our website, if you go to it, that whole website is built by one of our members. Wow. The individual is teaching me how to do these things, which is always very empowering for the individual, as well as to me, because it makes me realize, and I've said it for years, there's a very thin line between this side of the desk and that side of the desk. So let's move the desk aside and let's work on things together. You know, let's just get to the bottom line responsibility that we need to work on to be able to get ourselves better.
So for the typical client for Club Success, could you walk us through the process, let's say from the time that they arrive to the time that they leave?
Certainly. As you walk in through our doors, we're very engaging. We never meet a stranger, so the individuals walk in, they're greeted by our greeter, asked to sign in. As they sign in, from there you try to engage them into one of the units or departments, and they work in their department for the day. Our average length of stay could be anywhere between 4.5 to 5 hours is what we're averaging, but it's the individual's schedule. It's what they want to do. We don't set schedules for anybody. We feel that the more they volunteer, the better it is. So they work, let's say in the kitchen. They work in the kitchen, they cook, they clean, they serve 2 meals a day, and then they break it all down and then start preparing for the next day. As opposed to the clerical unit, where they're going to be doing our publications, our websites, our, you know, our medical billing, different things like that, where the individual is able to, once again, use those strengths that they already have, be able to work side by side with either another member that has learned the position or a staff member in order to be able to keep them motivated moving forward.
So this isn't a residential facility. People just come for the day or for a half day, 4 hours or so?
Yeah, we refer to it as mirroring a work ordered day. The same way a person goes into their job, clocks in, does their responsibilities, and then leaves at the end of the day. That's what we try to mirror. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, with some evening and weekend social events, but the majority of the responsibilities are done 8 to 4, Monday through Friday.
Right. Now, there's not likely a typical client, let's say. So how often would a person come to your facility for, I don't want to refer to it as treatment, how would you refer to it?
Recognizing strengths and abilities, you
okay.
know. It is
so
a
you're
form
kind of nurturing
treatment.
people's maybe hidden strengths or abilities and aptitudes that they're just not maybe using to their fullest advantage?
That's exactly it, you know. Like I said before, it seems like when you get a diagnosis, people want to segregate themselves, you know, but for whatever reason it is, people want to stay at home, people want to be in bed, they don't want to be integrated. So our goal is to be able to get the individuals engaged, to be able to be back where a place that they can belong, be back where a place that they can build those meaningful relationships in order to reduce those symptoms. Our treatment is, I hate to use the word treatment because you automatically think clinically.
Right.
And for us, we're in more of a non-clinical approach where it is just a matter of, you know, working with the individual, reducing those symptoms to be able to offer the best quality of life.
So your care is more through encouragement.
Encouragement, coaching, mentoring. There's a bunch of different things. Like we don't, like you said, we don't have a typical person or typical client that we have, but it's just a matter of meeting the individual where they're at in order to move them forward to have that best quality of life.
You mentioned that you have clients, if that's how you refer to them, that may have a third grade education, and then another one may have a master's degree. So obviously there's a broad spectrum of people that you deal with. Could you provide us a success story, an example of somebody that came, you know, and had the benefit of your program, and maybe you followed what's happened to them afterwards?
Definitely. Actually, an individual that I met through case management in my prior job was 17 years old, aging out of case management. He was one of the charter members of the clubhouse. So we started in 2005. So he was one of he was referred to us, he was referred to us as a way to be able to do something productive throughout the day. Well, the individual wasn't taking his medication as prescribed. The individual was didn't have a stable home. And that's what we did. We tried to meet his needs where he was at. So we were able to get him into a residential program. We were able to get him with a psychiatrist and therapy, and he was able to have that stability in his life. What we provided for him was what we call transitional employment. In addition to all the support, we have that he wanted to get back into work. So that's what he did. He worked as a custodial position and was able to clean, did 9 months of work, which helped build his resume, which helped him into getting his own job. So for us, it doesn't seem like very much, but when a person has been raised in the system and has been, he feels like he doesn't have very much hope, well, we're able to restore that hope. We're able to build that relationship, because when you're investing so much into somebody, there's no way that you can't build a relationship. You know, we still keep in contact. The member still comes to this day, almost 10 years later, and he's still coming to the clubhouse, in addition to doing his own work, in addition to having his own apartment now, and having his significant other living with him. So,
speaking of 10 years later, you have an anniversary coming up, don't you?
We do. We're using this as a celebratory event, in addition to just being able to gain more exposure. We want to make sure that people recognize that we are out here. We want to be, for my goal as a director was, I want people to not be like, Club Success what? Or what is that? I want to be known in the community, whether it be through partnerships of, you know, be able to employ our members, or whether it be just a person that you can, or a place that we can refer to. Our event is going to be May 20th. We're going to be there from 4 to 6. We're going to be offering light hors d'oeuvres, and also offering tours by our members, which is the most exciting, because I can talk about it all day long, but when you actually see the members take the ownership of their clubhouse and be able to show off their clubhouse, it's always a very good time.
Sure. With the little amount of time that we have remaining, could you give us a brief tour of your clubhouse through the mind's eye?
Mind's eye, what we're working on is a virtual tour. Go to our website, clubsuccess.net. You'll be able to see the virtual tour. It should be up within the next probably 2 weeks. So
oh, fantastic.
That's our goal.
Lewis, I certainly appreciate you being here today and telling us about Club Success.
Thank you for the opportunity once again.
So again, it's Club Success 10-year anniversary. That event is happening May 20th from 4 to 6 at 600 El Paseo. That's in North Lakeland. The event is free, and they will be serving light hors d'oeuvres. If you need to contact them, they can be reached by phone at 863-519-0874. And you can visit their website at www.clubsuccess.net. They do have a Facebook and a Twitter address at Peace River Center.